translation says, and establish the deen. And maybe they will say, and establish the religion. But I told you, and aqimu deen, or aqimu salah, the masses understand aqimu salah to establish salah. They don't know what is salah, but every day they're doing the same thing the same way. And they think that is aqimu salah. Aqimu deen means, in the language, it means through the divine social order, rise and evolve and exalt yourself. If you and I are following a divine system of life, we cannot remain with so much of prejudice, so much of ignorance, so much of racism, so much of backwardness, so much of weakness. We cannot. The evidence in you and me that we are following the deen of Allah, the deen of Allah makes people balance. Remove the cataract from their eyes. Remove the prejudice from their hearts. Cause them to see other human beings as humans like themselves in humanity. Cause them to work for the enhancement of society. Don't make them feel, oh, we are better than they are. Why? Because they are called Christians. And we are called Muslims. And they are called Hindus. And they are called Jews. And they are called Rastas. And they are called Buddhists. So we are already better than them. So a Muslim man can marry a Hindu girl. That's how we understand it. I can tell you there's a deeper meaning to all these things. But you need to study. You need to commit yourself to learning. Somebody calling himself a Muslim and somebody calling themselves a Christian or a Hindu who don't produce anything of divine loftiness and don't support any values of loftiness, tell me what difference do they bring to society? But we are cultural Muslims. We don't care when we arrange our marriages with sons and daughters in society. Oh, that one's Muslim? Yeah, okay, they can marry. Or if they're not Muslim, make them recite the Shahada 3 times and they become Muslims. It's so we have devalued the lofty, sublime values of the Qur'an. And we are paying the price in our life. Because we can't fool around with divine loftiness. There's no substitute for it. So the Prophet Muhammad and Moses and Jesus and Abraham and Noah, they were all told to do what? Aqimuddin. Ensure that the deen of Allah is what prevails in your life. Not a culture of rituals, not of traditions, not of useless things that you say and do that doesn't have the ability to change your predicament. Aqimuddin means let this deen of Allah, the way you practice it, cause you to stand up. I told you the verb is qama. بالعربية قام يقوم قوما أقام مقيما or qiyaman. Qama means to stand up literally, physically, from where you were sitting. But figuratively, you want to know when you're standing up as a mother or a father, or a grandmother or a grandfather, or a son or a daughter, or a brother or a sister, or an uncle or an aunt. You know when you and I are standing up, bidinillah, is when we have the power to choose and refuse from following culture, from following tradition, from following a listless, hopeless lifestyle that produce very little or no results, and have the power to follow divine loftiness. Every one of us is not judged on the basis of how we appear, the dress we wear or our facial appearance. That has no value. Uneducated people fool you to think those have values. What has values is what impact my life and your life, and how our lives impact the lives of our families, our friends, our co-workers, members of society near and far. That's what has value. And that does not come by rituals. That has to be cultivated. And then we can reap the crops. كَبَرَ عَلَى الْمُشْرِكِينَ مَا تَدْعَوْهُمْ إِلَيْهِ. The Qur'an told the beloved Prophet that shirk is the biggest obstacle. And the way Muslims understand shirk, they hardly teach shirk with the importance it deserves to be taught in Muslim universities, whether it is in the Arab world or in the world of Asia. Ask anybody who is a graduate from the Islamic University of the Muslim countries, the Arab countries or Asia. Shirk is a token. Shirk means when you say there are two gods. That's what they think. So the Hindus are mushrik. Christians are mushrik. Muslims could never be mushrik because they only say one Allah. But you and I know, talking with the mouth is one thing. What the mind conceptualizes, what the body succumb to is a different thing. If we talk with the mouth one God, but in our life we serve many forces, many masters, I ask you, what you think we are doing? Chapter 39, verse 29. People who have different masters with conflicting objectives. Those are really people who shirk is ruling. So the Quran told the Prophet in this same verse, كَبُرَ عَلَى الْمُشْرِكِينَ مَا تَدْعَوْهُمْ إِلَيْهِ. This is the greatest problem for people who are mushrik. They cannot become all people that respect that Jesus, that Moses, that Abraham, that Noah, and you, O Mohamed, you all brought the same message. This is the biggest problem in society. That's why you see fences between Muslims and Christians, and Muslims and Hindus, because the average uneducated Muslim think the Hindus are all in hell. Oh, the Hindus worship idols. And the word idol they don't understand. They think idol is a statue. It's a physical, statue. The idolatry is anything you dedicate your life to. That holds on to you. That takes your time, your energy, your wealth. That is not divine, is not lofty, is not empowering, is not enhancing, is not in synchrony with divine values. That's idolatry. It doesn't have to be stone and wood or gold or bronze. And we have a lot. So shirk, my dear brothers and sisters, is what will prevent you and I to come to the Sharia of Allah and understand we should not put people in compartments. We should not pass judgment on the Christian world. All those Christians are in hell. I know many of them do the same thing to Muslims. They say, believe in the Lord Jesus Christ and you're saved. And we say to them, accept Prophet Muhammad and you're going to paradise. We tell them, we are giving tit for tat. That's why the Muslim world is incapable of enhancing its citizens. And that's why Christianity has lost its steam. Anytime religion is the product of human beings, this is what happens to it. Look at the Muslim communities all over the world, especially in their countries, and you will see how weak they are. Look at Christianity all over the world, and you will see lots of the teachings are in the books and are in the churches. They don't work because I said last week, Jesus Christ said two things. He said, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord thy God is one God. And thou shalt worship the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and all thy soul, and all thy mind." That is, if you accept that there is one sovereign in this universe, dedicate yourself to it. And then the next one, love your neighbor as yourself. But in the way many of us are brought up, we are brought up with tunnel vision. We are brought up with a lot of prejudice. We'll